Hey guys, we are here with the, can you believe it, the first data pack for Android Netrunner. And it's a good time to say that the art on these packs is great.
It's amazing.
It's nuts.
I love that the first data pack is called What Lies Ahead.
It's almost like
it's a great way to introduce the game.
All right, so these things are beautiful, obviously, but there are cards inside, and we would like to get to those. Now, there has been there's been a full spoiler that I've really refrained from looking at, so I don't really know.
I didn't have the self-control.
I don't really know what's in here. I know about the new runner. I know that was spoiled on the thing. Now, just for full disclosure, my preferred faction right now is the Anarchs. What are they called in this game? Identities?
Identities, yeah.
Yeah, the Anarchs and NBN. So I'm going to be drawn to those cards. Zach, you play a little bit of everything, I know, but...
Shaper and Whelan is my preference at this point, but we'll see what happens.
All right, I'm excited, so we got to get in here. Let's talk about, first we've got Wizard. This is a new identity. This is kind of like a big deal. The new identities for these packs are always going to be a new way to play the game with your favorite identities. Wizard has 3 credits, recurring credits that you can use to trash cards. This is very interesting. I like the idea of it. Master Gamer Wizard here. He just kind of looks like a tool, which is great. That's expected. But 3 credits to trash with. Is it a big deal? Is it better than trashing to the discard pile every time you install a virus? I don't know, but the weird thing with the Anarchs, it seems like more and more there's a lot of this running through your opponent's R&D, running through their deck. By doing a lot of runs on R&D, trashing stuff to get in their discard pile and kind of working through. I've actually won a game or two by just depleting my opponent's R&D with Maker's Eye runs and things. And having 3 credits to trash with could be a very big deal. Pretty nuts. And I believe, is it Demolition Run? I think does it give you, I think you can trash anything even if it couldn't be trashed normally.
Yeah.
So Wizard can just go through there, as far as I understand it, and wreck things. This is like their first impression, so we could be getting everything wrong. Let's talk about the Spinal Modem. It's hardware. It's a new console for the Anarchs, so this is going to replace their, every time you install a virus, you get a counter on that virus. +1 MU, always nice. 2 recurring credits to pay for icebreakers. Sweet.
Icebreakers.
However, the drawback is whenever there is a successful trace during a run, suffer 1 brain damage.
Now this is dangerous.
It's a big deal.
Because there's some, I know in my Whelan deck, I have a lot of cards that have trace.
Right.
So any one run could be 2, 3, 4 traces. So if you're running this, I could see this working in a Shaper deck potentially, because I feel like you're going to need a very high base link to not just get trashed on traces.
You need some high base link, and maybe this is the kind of thing we may see in the future where the Anarchs maybe get something that helps restore brain damage, or because they have a lot of stuff. They have a lot of stuff where they do the stim hacks where they take brain damage after a run too. So this is scary to me right now. I would not run this currently.
And it's expensive, but it does give you +1 MU.
We do have a new virus for the Anarchs. This is the Imp. It's a program. It's a virus. 2 cost, 1 MU, so it's cheap. I like that. Place 2 virus counters on it when it's installed. Once per turn, I can remove a hosted virus counter to trash a card you access at no cost, even if it cannot normally be trashed.
Again, more of this trashing element.
This is excellent. If you have your original Anarch console out, this thing comes in with 3 tokens on it. And you can go in and get rid of Adonis campaigns, pad campaigns, any kind of those resource abilities, run through there and get them. Also, running through the deck or cards in the hand is excellent. Finally, we have the Morning Star for the Anarchs. New ice for the Anarchs. It's an 8 cost, 2 MU, 5 strength. This is big ice, it's like a battering ram. Breaks any number of barrier subroutines for 1 credit.
Which is crazy. A 5 strength
Hadrian's Wall, see you.
Means most things you'll be able to get past. This will make boosting strength on ice important. Gets to a barrier, pays 1.
Pays 1 to break everything. Everything.
Now this guy costs 4 influence. So I would say, maybe unless you're running Shaper, outside of that, it's if you're not running Shaper, this is a great option to deal with.
Here's the weird thing. Depending on the ice, depends on the meta. Do you run the Corroder, which is a super efficient barrier breaker for the Anarchs, or do you run this guy? It really depends on the intense barriers that you're seeing. So this is a cool tool to have. You want to hit me with the criminals there?
Sure. So the first card we have is the Cortes chip. Costs 0, but you trash it, you choose a piece of ice. The Corp, obviously, they pay 2 additional to res that piece of ice.
Until the end of the turn.
Until the end of the turn.
Interesting.
So if you're getting ready to make a run, they have a lot of face down cards. This could, I mean, how many times in a game are you literally using all of your credits to res something? Maybe they have 10 and you're afraid of a Hadrian's Wall or an 8 Wall of Thorns. You can force them to have to pay 2 extra, and that can mess the math up.
And I know on my corp turns, I always like plan my turns where I have just enough credits to like res X and Y pieces of ice. So if this screws it up, it's a really good deal.
Absolutely. All right. So the second card is the Peacock.
Beautiful.
Now,
beautiful card.
Is this the identity that didn't have a code gate breaker before?
I'm not as familiar with criminals as I should be, honestly, but I want to say yes. I know there was a lot of like Gordian blades being splashed around here.
So for 3, we get a 1 mu program, pay 2 to break code gate, pay 2 to get +3 strength.
That's really good.
You get up to 5, most dice you'll handle most dice. But
so 4 to get through. I like that a lot, actually.
That's a solid card.
Yeah.
Now I think that's it for them.
Yeah.
And now we get to my favorite identity for the runners, which is Shaper. Something I'm really, really excited about actually is the Keymaster. Costs 1 mu. With Kate, he's free. If you have at least 2 base link, which is pretty cost, memory cost of him is 0.
It's crazy.
So he's just a free 0, and then he's a code gate breaker. Now they do have one of the best code gate breakers in the game, but for 0 mu and for almost 0 cost, this is a super good, super cheap option.
1 to raise strength and 1 to break code gates. That's really
Solid
nice.
option.
Yeah.
Then we have the helpful AI, which gives you +1 base link, as you might expect. I can trash it, choose an icebreaker. That icebreaker has +2 strength until the end of the run, or end of the turn. It's super nice. Maybe they flip something, you can trash it, get your extra stuff. In the meantime, it does give you an extra base link, so pretty useful. And when you're considering something like Aesop's Pawn Shop, it only costs 2, so it becomes an even trade later in the game. And then we get to neutral cards.
Neutral cards, show us.
Neutral card. The Plascrete Carapace. When you play it, you place 4 counters on it.
There are no counters on it. You trash it. You remove a counter, prevent the meat damage. So this is anti-scorched earth, right? Scorched earth meat, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
So there you go. There's your answer.
Not just scorched earth, but anything else that does meat damage. Solid. For 3, if you're struggling with meat damage, that's a great card. I don't know how much play it'll see yet, but
it's an answer. Like if tag and bag is a big deal, where you're playing. For me, this is a card that I wouldn't run because it's just so conditionally useful. Because if you don't encounter meat damage, who cares? But if you're getting lit up, then good choice.
So then we're over to the corporations, and we have the first new identity for the corporations.
Looks great.
A Haas Biroid. And the big ability here is all Biroid ice has +1 strength.
Now, this is a big deal because what this tells us is that they're going to make identities within, specific identities within these entities that are allowing you to play the Hasbioroid in a different way. So, like, originally you're drawn to Hasbioroid because it's super efficient. There's a lot of money. You install something, you get a credit, and it's, like, easy to hold on to money. This one is not so efficient. It's just a passive +1 to all of your ice. So it's like a say no card to the runner. And
the economy on this is crazy.
Yeah.
Because like you usually pay 1 or pay 2 for the extra strength. You know, the things that, like earlier, 2 strength, pay 2 to get +3 to 5. If you can make your 5 strength stuff 6,
right,
you're costing them every turn 2 or 3 extra credits. That's a huge. It's a different style of play for sure.
Totally different style of play for Hasbioroid.
It's a huge benefit. It's still got the 45-15, so the same rules apply. Now, what's awesome about this pack, and what really changes the game, up till this point with the core, you've had to run certain agendas. If you're running Hasbioroid, you have certain agendas.
Yeah.
That's no longer the case.
Nope.
Our first new agenda, the mandatory upgrades, 6 to score 2 points, but when you score it, you get an extra click every turn.
That's crazy.
Holy moly.
It's a new deal.
Well, in Haas, they also have the stuff that lets you take free clicks, right?
Yeah, you can get additional action. You essentially pay 4 for an additional action.
So this is a snowball waiting to happen.
Yes.
I mean, once you get up to 4, maybe 5 clicks, you can score this thing in almost 1 turn.
Yeah, and then once this thing is up, man, like you can score it. What if you have 2 of these scored?
That's what I'm saying. It accelerates. The snowball just keeps building. Great agenda. I love that it costs 6.
Yeah.
What's cool about these 6-cost agenda, though,
is
there are cards like Project Junebug that after a while of playing, people don't fall for it so much anymore. But with higher cost agendas, now having something with 4 or 5, even 6 on it.
Terrible traps, man.
It could be a terrible trap, could be a Junebug for the game. Then we get to one of the most talked about cards from the pack so far, which is Janice 1.0. 15 cost, 8 strength, The runner may spend a click to get cancel any subroutine. 4 brain damage potential.
Hey, just get the Carapace on, or whatever we just saw earlier. You prevent all, or that's meat damage. Sorry.
This is brain damage.
Oh yeah,
this is
brain
worse.
damage. Ouch.
So 15 is expensive, but there are a lot of times where you can get the economy to make this happen. You've also got things like Priority Rec. And then, don't they have an agenda?
Accelerated beta test, dude.
Yeah.
Accelerated beta
so,
test.
lots of ways to get this guy out, and that's a monster to have to deal with. Yeah, you can spend a click, but 8 strength, and it's a sentry, 4 brain damage. Even if you kill 2 or 3 subroutines, you're taking a brain damage.
Here's the thing I'm realizing about Netrunner, though, as you play it more and more, is like, if you see this, and anytime they're going to res this, they don't pay 15 for it, which if they pay 15, you're like, great, that's fine. Assuming that you know, against Hasbiroid, I like to go in with some clicks so that in case there's some really stupid ice, I can at least try to click out of it and just save my my brain. But if they flip this and it's like, oh, I've got this Janice 1.0 standing on the central or remote server, it's like my efforts immediately go elsewhere. It's like, don't try to break through this. Now you can go after their hand or their deck instead. And I really like that, you always have those options in Netrunner. It seems to be made around that idea.
I'm excited to run into that the first time and see how I deal with it, for sure.
I know how you're going to deal with it. You're going to
die. Then we get to the last card for this identity, which is an upgrade. Costs 2 when you install it. Anytime successful run on that server, there's a trace 4. If it's successful, this is the only card they get to access. So, I mean, assuming you're playing someone that's not Shaper, that doesn't have a lot of base link going on, they're going to have to bid 5. It's sort of like a red herring, but worse in the fact that the trash cost is 3.
Yep.
So you're going to have to pay 5, and then if you do access it and you want to trash this, it's 3.
Yeah, I feel like the NBN is looking at this upgrade very nicely. They have their identity, which can immediately add 2 to any trace. So you're going to trace 6. If successful, they can't access any other cards. I mean, this is a really good way to protect your eyes, or your agendas.
Pretty crazy. All right, so then we get to Jinteki, which is loved and hated by all of us, and their new agenda, which is the Brain Trust. Now, it only costs 3, and you get 2 points.
I love agendas like that, very quick.
But when you score it, place 1 agenda counter on it for every 2 advancement tokens on it over 3. So if you have 5 advancement tokens, you put a power token on it. The res cost of all ice is lowered by 1 for each token on this, which is crazy.
So good.
But again, I get back to the idea that all of a sudden Project Junebug is a lot trickier, because maybe you have 5 or 6 on a card, or 7, and you're not scoring it, and they're running. It's like, well, is it Brain Trust? Or is it a Junebug for the game?
Your most hated card, the exposed thing, is
looking more interesting,
Let's
then
wrap through these last few.
Snowflake. Simple piece of ice. You and the runner both spend secretly 0, 1, or 2 credits. Reveal the spent credits in the run if you and the runner spent a different number of credits.
You got to gamble. You either break this every team or you gamble.
Now, the funny part is, as the corporation, if I bid 2, it's like, well, you're either going to end the run or bid 2.
Yep.
Or maybe thinking that you think that, I bid 0 and you bid 2 anyway, and it ends the run. It's nasty. Let's get to NBN, which is their agenda.
Let me cover NBN because I love him. We got the restructured Datapool, new ice. 5 cost, 3. Good to have another big 3 piece of agenda here. It has a click, trace 2, if successful, give the runner 1 tag. So once you score this, you can forever give the runner tags.
Click, trace, click, trace.
This is a game-changing agenda, completely.
All I have to say is I'm base linking it out from here on.
Base link becomes supremely important now. This is just incredible.
All right. Then we have TMI, your new ice.
TMI. When you res TMI, trace 2. If unsuccessful, de-res TMI, and then it has an in the run. Now, this is a big 5 strength barrier. Only costs 3 to res. It's going to shut down. This is a good piece of in the run ice for NBN, which we didn't really have before now. So I'm glad to see this. And we're not going to have an unsuccessful trace. Come on, it's NBN.
I'm excited about this. The new agenda for Whelan, Project Atlas. 3, 2. For every advancement token beyond 3 that's on it when I score it, I get a hosted agenda counter. I can spend those to go get any card I want.
Search R&D for 1 card. That's insane. It's insane.
It's absurd. Then I get a new piece of ice, which I don't know how to pronounce. I'm going to admit it. 3 costs, 3 strength, sentry. 1, again, I was saying earlier with the traces. If successful, I gain 3 credits. If successful, in the run.
Tracing, man.
Lots of traces, only 2 influence. I could see that being used in other identities. Then we get to the last corporation card, which is a neutral piece of ice called Drako, the dragon. Sentry. When you res it, you may pay X credits, and you place X tokens on it. He gets plus X strength. So you pay 5, he gets 5 strength. If successful, give the runner 1 tag and end the run. That's
Trace
a huge
2.
trace.
Yeah. That's insane. So it's going to be hard. I mean, this is a weird thing. Drako, not only do you have to bid the money to get it up to the strength where the runner can't break it easily, but then you also have to succeed once you're there on tracing the runner. So I don't know. I don't know if this is going to see a lot of play, honestly.
I think this is actually decently solid for the identity that has the free trace boost, basically, because you're talking 1 for a piece of ice, even if it's 0 strength.
Right.
If they have to break it, but
If they don't have a sentry.
if they don't have a sentry breaker, now it's a trace, essentially 4, so they're going to pay 5 without you paying anything.
Yeah.
That could be a big deal, even if you pay 1 or 2 just to make them have to pay something to break it. Cheap, efficient piece of ice. I think this could be a filler when you don't have anything else you want.
Awesome. All right, guys, so that's the new data pack. What lies ahead? These guys will be going out to all of our Netrunner LCG subscribers today. Actually, they are already on the way. And we just can't wait to play with these cards. If you'd like a subscription and support what we're doing here in our efforts, we would love to have you. Just go to our website, teamcovenant.com/store. You can look under Netrunner and find the subscription there and receive one of these beautiful packs every month.
Absolutely. Excited about the new pack. Should completely change the game, and hope you enjoy it.